Well, that was 4 hours long. What is going on, fellas? I'm Henry, and we're back with another, this time with our first ever movie review for the new Justice League, Zack Snyder Justice League. I guess you just call it the Justice League True Director's Cut, or the Extended Edition, the Extended Edition. Nonetheless, I just want to say that this movie was a 4 hour long extravaganza. I mean, I'm just gonna go on and say I really did like it. Okay, so the ending credits right here. It's playing right in front of me. I just watched it and it was a really good movie. However, there are still some flaws with the movie. Like, it's not a perfect movie. It's not the best movie. But however, it could be argued that out of all the DC movies, this is possibly the top there. But there's still some things that is wrong with it, and that's holding it from being probably the best DC movie in the DC cinematic universe. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the bad. So the things that I kind of found bad things in regards to the movie. One is the length. Now, you're going to hear this from other reviewers, and I'm actually going to agree with it. When I was watching a movie, when I was into it, it was really, really good in the sense that I didn't focus too much on the time. The only time when I did focus on how long it is when I was done watching it, and I look outside wow, the sun the sun was literally it was morning. Now it's straight up afternoon. It's a 4 hours long. At which I really understand why it's 4 hours. I mean, there's a lot of things that Zack Snyder wanted to show in this movie, and you could definitely feel that they were trying to jam, literally put in a lot of storylines into one movie, where it did felt at some times where it just felt too much just for it to just be one movie. There are also some small scenes, some small little nitpicks that I'm not gonna talk about here that will kind of spoil the movie. That will be for our spoiler review that's coming out tomorrow. So that when we're gonna talk about some of the details as to what the small little nitpicks as to what I didn't really like about it. And another small detail is some of the music choices for some scenes. I'm like, okay, some scene it took me out of the movie. I'm like, okay, this is a weird music for this scene. And I'm gonna talk about which scene I'm talking about in the spoiler review. But I'm like, okay, there's some music that it felt really off, and it took me out of the movie. Perhaps one of my biggest flaws is towards the end, where they essentially introduce a new character, and it brings up the question as to where were you during this entire time? Where were you during BVS? Where were you during Man of Steel? Where were you when literally a Doomsday was killing most half of the Justice League? Where were you during that time? It's pretty much all the small little flaws I had with the movie. But with that being said, now I'm gonna talk about the things that I really, really liked about this movie. The first thing that I really liked about this movie is there's a lot of action. There's a lot of things going on. Keep in mind, this is 4 hours, and as I said, the downside is that it's so long. However, it actually has a good side, and where the reason why it didn't felt that long is because there's a lot of action to keep you into the movie. There's a lot of things going on, and not just things, but actually things that make sense and that you can understand. Especially, there's a lot more character development. Now, when I say character development, I'm comparing this with the Joss Whedon, the Justice League that came out in 2017. The Justice League. Comparing this one to that one, there's a lot more character development. Now, again, and this is something that as I was watching this movie, I kept on saying, I really, really wanted there to be more stuff. I wanted these characters to have their own movies, and literally probably an hour and 50 minutes devoted to one, not an hour, but an hour and 50 minutes devoted to one character and developing their personality, developing who they are, developing their backstory. Because I'm going to be honest, I know some of the DC stories, however, I don't know all of them. Storylines because there's so many issues, there's so many storylines in the DC comics where every new storyline, I'm like, wow, and the stories are really, really awesome. This is why I really love DC, because they have a lot of storyline that develops their characters. So I just wish that these characters had their own movies to give them more time to develop. However, still, what they did here, so much more better than what they did with what Joss Whedon did. They literally developed the main character that I feel like they really focus on was Cyborg. I'm like what they did with Cyborg in this movie, I like actually felt for Cyborg. I'm like, okay, I want to see more of you. I want you to have your own movie now. I want to know more of your backstory, because Cyborg is a character that I don't really know much of. I just know from like what other people tells me, and not a lot of people like told me a lot about Cyborg. So I don't really know much about Cyborg. I want to find out. So that's why I'm like, I want you to have your own movie so I can know more about you. Another character that they did really well in this movie comparing to the one in 2017 with Joss Whedon is the Flash. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the Flash in the Joss Whedon version, I'm like, he was a little annoying. I did find him annoying sometimes. Like some of the jokes just fell flat with me. But in this movie, like, again, they developed his character. They gave him more of I could essentially understand his personality. Now I want to know more about him. I want him to get his own movie so I can know more about his backstory, know more about because the Flash. I actually don't know much about the Flash. Like, I haven't seen the Flash TV show. Probably, I probably am gonna watch it. Maybe we might even do a reaction to the entire Flash series. Who knows? So I actually wouldn't mind having like a Flash, like a separate movie where I could know more about the character and know more about his backstory and his personality. Those two characters were the only two that basically really did stand out for me. The other, like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, they really did. They literally developed their character more in this movie. So there were some character developments, and in regards to the plot of this movie, like this movie is exactly the same, the one that Joss Whedon made. However, there's a lot of scenes that explain things that really did need explaining. Like, for example, well, I'm not really gonna give any, like I said, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but essentially what Joss Whedon did, he would just tell you of things that happen rather than showing you, which this movie did. It showed you exactly what happened. It made the movie much more easier to follow and understand, as well as know what's the ultimate goal for our heroes. So the things that I liked how they developed the character. I loved the action. The action was really, really engaging. Like literally and it was awesome to see how the superheroes, like different type of superheroes, will use their powers with each other in order to solve a problem. It was really, really awesome to see basically them interacting with each other as a legit team. So that was really cool. I love seeing that. I loved how I love some of the music, some of the music choices, like some of the sounds, like for the soundtrack. I'm like, okay, that was pretty good. I like that soundtrack. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, okay, that was pretty good. So those are the things I really, really did like about the movie. And the things that I kind of didn't like would be the length, the introduction of a new character towards the end. I'm like, okay, that felt kind of tacked on, and it raises more questions. I also don't like how this in this entire universe, like I just don't like. Wait, so is Wonder Woman 1984 canon? How about Aquaman? Because this still doesn't answer those type of questions. It's just it's just still all over the place in regards to its relationship and its the order with the other movies. Like, where does this one fall? Which one matters now? Which one should I even watch anymore? So those will be kind of like the flaws of this film. So now I'm essentially gonna give my verdict on the movie. I probably, for this movie, now because the main question is, should you pay the HBO Max to watch this? And the answer to that question is, I think you should. I think it's worth getting HBO Max just to see this. This was, like I said, even though I did kind of mention a lot of flaws, this was a really, really great movie. It's just that, when you want to watch it, you're just gonna have to plan, okay, I'm gonna plan my schedule around this because it's 4 hours long. So I really want, and because it's something, and that's the greatest thing, is that you could pause it, but when you're watching it, it's like you don't want to pause. You just want to watch and basically binge watch the entire 4 hours. It is a movie that you should basically pay for the subscription for the HBO Max of $15 a month to see this Zack Snyder's Justice League. I still don't like how it's straight up only in HBO Max. I wish this was, of course you can't really release a 4 hour long in theaters, but I just hope that Bugs Bunny doesn't be like, oh, okay guys, let's just straight up release all our movie on HBO Max, none in theater. Because for me, I love going to movie theaters. A movie theater is kind of like a temple for me. It's a place where you can escape all your problems and just enjoy the struggles or the development that not only the story takes you, but also the characters that you can relate to that's on the silver screen. This movie was really, really good. I actually want to see more, like, I want to see more of this movie, like this storyline. I want to see like the sequel, like a Justice League 2, but at the same time, I want them to, again, essentially start all over, give them each character their separate movies, build on each character, give them more personality, which will be hard because Ben doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Come on, Ben, just be Batman. But it's okay. So I really want to see more of this movie. I hashtag release the Zack Snyder cut. Well, consider us a part of that. And now to give this movie a grade, because we do grades here. So I'm going to give this movie a grade. If I were to give this movie a grade, I'm going to give this movie a B+. I really do think it's a good movie. However, there are still some flaws that prevents it from getting an A or A-. But still, I really, really did enjoy this movie. It is a good movie. I really think you guys should really check it out. But make sure to separate some time, like 4 hours, so that you could literally watch the entire movie. Or you could do what other people, like other YouTubers and reviewers, what they said, that what I hear is that they usually just watch like the first like 2 hours, stop, and get like a 30-minute intermission, and then they watch the other 2 hours. So maybe you might even spare like an hour and 30 minutes to give yourself some time. Me, I just binge watched the entire thing. I was like, oh my god, this thing's really awesome. I gotta see it all. Also, let me know down in the comments below, which movie do you like, this four hour long version of Justice League, or do you like the Josh Whedon Justice League? So which one did you like more, this one or that one? As well as don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And that's pretty much it for this review. I'm really excited that this is actually our very first review, and our very first review is for a movie that I actually really enjoyed. I gave it a B+, and I really think you guys should really check it out. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for this video. Tomorrow I'm releasing a new video. I'm gonna do the spoiler review. I'm gonna talk about particular scenes that I can't really talk about because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some scenes that I really want to talk about, as well as the introduction as that character that I mentioned towards the end, and why then I'm like, I don't like that. That was pretty. They should have just waited off on that one. And as well as some scenes I'm like, are like freaking amazing. You guys have to check out tomorrow's video. That's pretty much it for me on this video, and we're out of here.